Hi friends, I'm back and I have so many feelings about fictional boys, BTS and living my most whimsical life. So what has been happening in my life basically for the last 3 years is actually quite a few things changed. For example, I really got into BLseries 3 years ago, basically, and also the end of April, beginning of May. I started with Kim Posch's series, which really just got me into it. I had watched BLseries before. I've watched obviously queer media, like that's kind of my special interest. I wrote my bachelor thesis about one of them, which is GAM. And so I feel like that was like a natural progression for me because I really needed that, like, kind of change my life in my media consumption, basically. I really needed that. It brings me so much joy as well. Like, I love watching the BL series I've been watching, and it's just been really great to see all these different types of representation and like storylines and genres spring up over the last 3 years. And then basically in the same year of 2022, I also started my TikTok account and started posting also videos there, some which in the beginning already were about BL series. And so I really just found like a community there, found friends, even through BLseries, some more friends, which is always good. Love meeting new friends. And so I feel like that was really like a really important step for me, basically in my journey, is to find even more media which have even more different queer representations. So I'm so excited that like basically that's been my life for 3 years. That I've been watching all these great shows and series and like watch all these amazing actors basically. Then I also became like a really big fan of BTS in 2022, which I had known about BTS since 2017 because one of my friends was a really big fan, but I wasn't really ready. Like, I literally was like, this is a great band, but I'm not ready to dive into this to become like a really big fan. And I wasn't also ready, I think, for some of the messages, like the love yourself message, for example, because I was still going through some things with myself, basically nothing too dramatic, I would say, but still. And so that's why it was like really beautiful that really like kind of came together. And so I'm really big BTS army now, and it's been amazing. I'm also gonna see J-Hope perform at Lollapalooza in Berlin together with my sister. It's gonna be the greatest weekend ever. So it's gonna be really, really cool. Like, I'm so excited. I'm also just like really happy that I found both through BTS but also to BLseries like so many new friends, like I said, a community. Also started fostering my own community online through, for example, the TikTok account and Instagram account, and just to like be in like exchange and conversations with people about like different genres of BLseries, of BLseries in general, the queer representation of it, different tropes and characters, and like all of it basically. And it's been really fun and amazing, and I'm like really just excited about that. And so I'm just generally like really happy that has been kind of my life. And then in 2023 I had an idea that I wanted to make more content, but I wanted to first, before I dive back into the long form video content, which then took me longer, because if you can see, it's 2025 now when I'm recording this video. But I wanted to do something else, and then for nearly a year I was like thinking about different ideas. And so then in 2024 I decided to launch my own queer media / BL series podcast called Bella's Galaxy, which I'm hosting myself and cutting myself and recording myself. And it's being hosted on Spotify, where you can find it. You can also find it through a link in all my different social media, but also here on YouTube. So if you want to look into that, I would highly recommend it. But yeah, so it's like been really great fun also to think about different ways on which I can approach different series, and it's been really fun. For example, I made an episode about Not Me, which is nearly an hour long, and I feel like I might have to have another one because I still have so many things to say about that amazing series. Like all the actors were great. I feel like the story was actually quite interesting, and like I left all the political facts obviously, and so a lot of my podcast about, for example, Not Me was about the political analysis behind what the group is doing, behind what the whole show overall is trying to say, how it's going to show like corruption, late stage capitalism, you know, and things like that. So I think like that was really like just interesting topics to go into, and so I really enjoyed that. I also made other like interesting topics like about the basically fostering community, which I talked about in the context of Moonlight Chicken. And so yeah, it's been so fun just to like find all these different shows and then talk about them online on my podcast and so on. And so I'm excited to also to dive into some things here in a different manner, in a less, I would say, analytical manner, even though I might do that as well, but more in a whimsical way, because that's my motto, especially for this year. But in general, I want to really lead like a whimsical life full of like fun and joy and little moments that I'm enjoying, but also all these great like medias that I can enjoy, and like a series and things like that. And so I feel like I just really want to lead that as my life, because I feel like that's kind of what I need, especially as the state of the world as it is. And so I feel like that would be like really fun to share with you all. And so yes, but yes, so there's so many great actors, I feel like, especially also in Thai BL, also in other BLs, in Japanese and Korean BLs. But like in Thai BL, where I'm watching a lot is Thai BL, there's so many great actors and actresses, and I'm glad. And so I've been also really like in the last like year or so, I've been diving into all the different ships, not just like to watch all the series as they're coming out, or maybe also watching older shows, which I hadn't watched before 2022. But I'm also like diving into new ships and generally, because as someone who, you know, grew up with Tumblr and with Teen Wolf and Supernatural, I'm like really familiar obviously to the concept of shipping as a millennial, and I've really also find a lot of joy and also community in the fandom space. So I thought that you know, that is definitely the aspect that I do also enjoy. And my favorite basically I think is by now Perf Santa. Like there's so many amazing ones, especially in GMMTV, but in like there's so many ones. At first I was a bit overwhelmed, and in general there's so many great actor pairings all over the BL industry. We've got like Billy Babe, Dumb Off Road, of course Z Nunu, Jimmy Ohm, Pooh and Pavel. Like we got so many ones, but I have to say Perf Santa, they stole my heart. I was like, I saw the announcement, I was like, okay, this is very interesting, like what's gonna happen. Obviously I was also a bit concerned because Jimon was like, yeah, I have depression, I'm gonna take a step back, and I was like, oh, okay, like good that he's doing that, but also obviously concerned about that, because you know that's quite serious. But then I was also really happy that Perf and Santa seem to be really meshing well, and that that actually people were like kind of excited also for the series. And then more videos were coming out. They were doing TikTok and Instagram. They were doing lives, and they you could see behind the scenes. And then the first episode of Perfect 10 Liners aired, and they were only in it for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, but they were amazing. They blew me away. Obviously, I love Forrest Book, and I love also Junior and Mark, and I love all the other, which are like side couples and side characters. But I have to say, Perf Santa really blew it away. Like I was just like mind blown, literally, if you want to stay with these metaphors. And so I'm just so excited that they are getting like more projects. Like they're gonna have a side couple in the Pon Puvin show, Thea and Me. Then they're gonna be in their own show, which is called Love You Teacher, I think. Or Love Me Teacher. No, I'm not sure. Something with teacher, definitely. But I'm so excited for that because it's going to be very interesting in general. And like I said, the chemistry is just off the charts between those two. Both of them, like I said, in my many TikTok videos, basically, is that I think they're both great, amazing actors, that they have always chemistry with their acting partners, but them together, it's just like when First Cow, for example, got paired together. They were amazing with all their other acting partners, but together, they're just like, it's just like a whole other level. And I feel like that's Perf Santa. And like I said, I've made many videos on TikTok and Instagram about that. So if you want to know more, you're not familiar with the Perf Santa game, you should check it out. I also made a Perfect 10 Liners. That was the show that they were in right now. Episode about them, about their characters. So if you're interested in that, definitely also check that out. And so I feel like that's just like the vibes. Of course, I'm also excited for all the things that are to come. So keep out an eye on all my social media channels for May, because we're going to get so many new shows, especially Pit Page Season 2. And, of course, the next Prince from the Money, which I'm so excited about. I'm gonna definitely do content about that. And I'm also gonna probably do something about Zayn's new project, which I'm excited that he's back in BL being the main character. I love that. And so I feel like that's also a thing to think about. If you're interested in that, definitely check my channels out. Thank you, friend. That's it for today. Thank you for stepping into my little fangirl world with me. So if you're also out here romanticizing your chaos, crying over fictional boys, hopefully not real boys, okay, and just trying to live your best whimsical life, you're so welcome here. This can be a safe space, and feel free to comment your current obsessions, hyperfixation, special interests. Also, if you are excited for what is to come in the BL world, you know, give me your opinions on what you're looking forward to in May. And if you want to stay in this dreamy little universe I'm creating, you know where the subscribe button lives. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!